You were like, you were one of the people I worship when it comes to like prank phone calls.
Hello, Big Blue. Fuck you. You know, fuck you. Fuck you, you fuckity fuck.
I suffer when he bites me. I'm in my vagina. When I'm walking and he sees other dog, he right away, he jump on my vagina because he gets so crazy. He doesn't know who I am.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to
KDK's Lunatic Fringe.
All systems go. Prepare for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to adventure in the amazing year 400 million.
I can't breathe. Stop.
This show contains strong language, full frontal male nudity, and other materials which some viewers may find offensive.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of KDK's Lunatic Fringe. Pardon me while I move my mic away. Sounds better. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to the show. It is KDK's Lunatic Fringe, the world's longest running internet radio program / podcast. And I am your host, KDK. I'll be here with you for the next several hours, hopefully. Hopefully we get some numbers and I can make some prank calls tonight. And it's a good thing I'm wearing headphones because I have no idea how my cats would react to hearing a Siamese cat sing the theme to the TV program Game of Thrones that we just listened to. So, this is the part of the program where I have to give out all the details. I've done it so many times that I should just make a recording of it and play it. If you want to send me names, numbers, or ideas for people whom you would like me to prank call tonight, you can do so by contacting me on AIM at KDK Pranks, KDKPRANKS, on AIM, or visiting my chat room at KDKPrankCalls.com, KDKPRANKCALLS.com. KDKZLunaticFringe.com. Click on the link for the chat room. Join me and the rest of the lunatics in there. And you can double-click on me. Send me your names, numbers, and ideas. Let me know if your numbers are confirmed. And instead of numbers, at least give me an idea. Because I'm old, and I'm decrepit, and I've done pretty much everything I can think of over the course of the, 10 years now that this program has been on. I don't think there is a concept so stupid that we haven't done it at least once. So now I stall while people send in their names, numbers, and ideas. And I do have an interesting story to tell. I don't know if I spoke about it on the air before. I didn't want to talk about it until I knew it was a definite. But Drunk Bill, you've heard him on the air before, my ex-boyfriend Drunk Bill. I told him that the condo next door was for sale, and that he should look into it because, my mortgage is like less than 1/3 of what his rent is, and at least, at the end of the day, I'm going to own a condo, and I could sell it if I want, and I'm building some equity. I told him he ought to look into it, and he did, and it turns out that he bought the condo next door, and he is closing this Tuesday, I believe. He's closing. He won't be living there for a little while because he's really OCD about cleanliness. So he wants to repaint the entire place and scrub everything down and disinfect it. I wouldn't be surprised if he brought in a team of those people, that clean up after a dead body to clean up the place because he's so OCD about cleanliness and he doesn't want to be in somebody else's dirty room or dirty condo. So. Can anyone give me a link to Hear KDK? ABS Dark Knight, you go to kdkprankcalls.com, kdkprankcalls.com, and right there on the front page, there's a logo for the Lunatic Fringe. You click on that, and it'll open up your Winamp or whatever your default M3U player is, and you can listen to us from there. Easy enough. Of course, that means you have to have something that's capable of playing an M3U, whether it be Windows Media or I recommend Winamp. I recommend going to an old version of Winamp. I'm still using a version of Winamp that's outdated by 5 years because the new one is a lot more invasive and bloatware, so I stick with the old pared down version. Pardon me while I take a shot. I've been waiting to go on the air here so that I could take a shot, so I'm going to do so now. I'm not sure how it's going to work out with Drunk Bill living next door. I imagine the worst. But all I got to do is just not answer the door because he's not going to be sitting out there ringing the bell, well, the neighbors can see him and stuff. He'll probably still just be drunk dialing me all the time like he always does now, so I don't think a whole lot will change. One thing I did think about is what happens if I do have a hookup over here? Is he going to get pissy and defensive and possessive? I warned him beforehand, you can't be that way because we're not dating, and it is a very real possibility that I might have people over here, and you may not be invited. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If anything, maybe it'll make life a little more exciting, a little more interesting. I'm going to light myself a cigarette here and hope I don't start a fire like I did last week. I also got myself a new job. I start work on Tuesday, so tonight is technically the last night that I'm going to be drinking before I start working because I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning for work, and I haven't gotten up that early in, at least probably 10 years. There are many times where I've gone to bed at that time, but now I need to get myself on a regular track. It's a lovely, wonderful 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon job, so I get out early enough to be able to do things, and it's only Monday through Friday, so I have weekends off, so I can still drink Friday and Saturday night, and there you go. One good thing about having Bill live next door is he's always got weed, so I'll always be able to get stoned whenever I want. Yay. Not to mention the blowjobs. So, people send me in your names, numbers, and ideas for prank calls. I'm going to play a song, come back, and get into the prank calls, because I don't want to be on too late, because, as I told you last week, I recently unlocked the Brony level of Diablo 3, and I only played it once, and for some reason I'm in the mood to go play it now, but I'll put it off and wait. I'll do a little bit of show, and then I'll go play a little, right? Yeah. So, you listen to... Let me see what I want to play here now. I love when I throw it to a song and I have no idea what I want to play. Oh, here's something from a band you never heard of called the 1990s, called See You at the Lights. And I'll be back very shortly. Very shortly. And I was sure that the cats were going to start being noisy as soon as I started talking, because I've been quiet until I went on the air here. And I was sure as soon as they heard me talking, you know, I joke on the air, like when I start talking, then the cats all start talking because they're like, wee, it's talking time. But they're all being quiet now because I'm mad at them, because I came home from work today and they had gotten onto the counter and they found the roll of paper towels and they shredded them all over the kitchen. I don't know who it was, but I had to sit there, and not only did they ruin an entire roll of paper towels, but I had to sit there and clean up the kitchen first thing as soon as I got home. So one of them is guilty, or perhaps several of them. Maybe they all ganged up on the poor, unsuspecting roll of paper towels, shredded it all over the kitchen. I don't know why cats do that. You see so many videos online of cats, like, shredding paper towels and toilet paper. They love, I guess, the feel of their claws digging into the paper towels, I guess. So, as promised, let me go and see what people are saying. First, in the chat room, Tabachi is sending me numbers. Let me scroll back up. Sending me the numbers for Harry Dick in Houston, Texas. A pissed off lady answered. Tim Dick in Kentucky. A stuffy middle-aged man answered. Harry Dick. Another Harry Dick in Ontario. Ontario? Douglas, Ontario. Okay. Cell phone woke him up from sleep. Okay, so let's give him a couple minutes to fall back asleep, and then we'll wake him up again. Woo-hoo-hoo-ha-ha. Another Harry Dick in New York. Harry Dick in New Jersey. Apparently he wants me to call Harry Dicks tonight. Another Harry Dick in North Carolina. Yes, Harry Dick. And now to the AIM. See what people are saying. Nunu says... Oh, he sends me a link for some black guy who is something called Heavy Impact Band. Here are some videos of them. He's in some, quote, Heavy Impact Band. Call using a British or Ed voice, but use the same type of terminology language as they do. His name is Jay. This is another person. His name is Jay. He's near Carriage Hill at the moment, and he spells carriage wrong. And his phone number was 70%. His phone was 70% charged 2 hours ago. How would you know that? Is that like something they put on Twitter now? That's a little too much information. I don't need people to know how well charged my phone is. Then again, if I don't want people bothering me, I could just use Twitter with a half-dead or mostly dead phone, right? Okay. Lonesome Loser is here. Sends the numbers for Carl and Vera Nimi. In Michigan, an old woman answered. Norma Beck in Colorado, a woman answered. Judy and William, an old guy answered. Herbert and Rosetta in Maryland, an old guy answered. Herbert and Alma, an old woman answered in Washington. Warren and Wanda Coe in Missouri, an old guy answered. Harold and Leona Ham, an old woman, an old redneck woman, an angry-sounding old guy. Those are my favorite. An old guy, a woman, a redneck woman, Anybody come up with a premise for tonight? Like, what is going to be our theme for tonight? The theme for the calls tonight. I can be upset about Neil Armstrong dying because I'm Ed Rosenthal and I was an astronaut. I don't know where to go with that. Avia sends me a number for Teresa. She called my friend saying she's from singlemales.com and wanted to know if he was with anyone and how often he masturbates. That sounds like a prank call. It was a very random call, so the premise is call back Teresa and let her know you don't appreciate her calling your nephew like that. Use Joe's voice and say you're reporting her for sexual harassment, and if the call goes smoothly, say you know who she is and that you're going to tell her parents that she's harassing you and your nephew. If Teresa asks who your nephew is, tell her it's not important. No, I'll just say, why, how many young men are you harassing, you hussy? Okay, I'm not sure which one to start with, so anybody in the chat room, you want to vote on who I call first? Do I call up this Teresa person who's making, is this confirmed that it sounds like somebody was trying to do a prank call on your friend here? Because I don't think anybody from that website would be calling. Or maybe you're just somebody from that website that wanted me to say singlemales.com. There you go, an unpaid sponsor. Singlemales.com. You've never been there, likely never will. Do they have a gay section? You never know. If they did, maybe I would. I need to do some warm-up calls, so I think I'm going to start with some Lonesome Loser numbers here, because old people are easy to warm up with. And I got to clear my voice. Me. We have a vote for the 75% phone battery power guy. Yeah, we can do that, but I'm going to do some warm-ups first, because I'm a little rusty. I haven't done prank calls in like 3 weeks now, so I got to warm up a little bit. And I'm going to have to refill my... Tonight's program is brought to us by Effin Vodka. That's, not effin as in like fucking, like effin, like literally E-F-F-E-N, effin vodka, and some kind of diet fruity fruit punch drink that I'm drinking here. So I need to refill my fruit punch. So I'm going to play a very short song, go do that, and be back very shortly. Whenever I think of short songs, I always think of They Might Be Giants. So here's a 2-minute song from them called I Palindrome I.
Someday mother will die and I'll get the money. Mom leans down and says my sentiments exactly. You son of a bitch, I palindrome I. And I am a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side. Palindrome I palindrome I. See that bulletproof dress hanging from the clothesline. See the medical chart with the random zigzag. Now I'll have to decide. I palindrome I. Snakehead eating the head on the opposite side. I palindrome I. Palindrome I. Palindrome I. Palindrome I. Son, I am able, she said, though you scare me, watch, said I. Love it, I said, watch me scare you, said she. Hey, boo, then my son, see the spring of the grandfather clock unwind. Got a big story, see the hands of my offspring making wind. Got a big story, Dad palindrome, Dad, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, and I am a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side.
I palindrome I. palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, And we're back. And I'm going to do shot number 2 before I go any further. And while I went to the kitchen to go refill my drink, well, let me do my shot first and then I'll continue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drink! Not too bad. See, it pays to buy expensive vodka because then it doesn't give you that throat burn afterward. When I used to drink Smirnoff, I would take shots and I'd be like, afterwards. But you drink a good one, and you don't really do that. So, I was walking into the kitchen to fill up my fruit punch. And I noticed that today when I got home from work, I've had like these little like fruit flies or teeny little tsetse flies that like buzz around the kitchen sink. And so I hung like a fly strip. Not that my house is dirty, but you know, the door is open all the time. And they come in through the screen, and I guess they're looking for water, or they're attracted to the smells of like the one dirty dish that's in there, I guess. So they always like buzz around the sink. So I hung a fly strip to catch them. And it's hung like right over the sink so it catches them more efficiently rather than putting it up on the ceiling where they might not be because they buzz around the sink. I put it so that it dangles like into the sink a little bit, but it's at a point where the cats can get to it. So I can just imagine like later tonight, like I get woken up because the cat has like gone into the sink and gotten the flypaper stuck to him and is in a panic and running around screaming with other things getting stuck to him on the flypaper. Because years ago, a drunk Bill was over here, and he was eating a lollipop, and he put a half-eaten lollipop in the ashtray. And Mouse must have walked over the ashtray. Mouse was one of my cats at the time. And she must have walked over the ashtray, and the wet half-eaten lollipop got stuck on the underside of her tail. And I didn't know this at first because all I knew is that the cat is running around screaming like she's being attacked at the top of her lungs, running around, won't let me catch her, darting here and there, fur flying everywhere because, you know, when cats get scared, they spontaneously just poof, they explode hair everywhere. And I finally caught her, and I found out that the reason why she was panicked was she had a lollipop stuck to the underside of her tail. And it was probably like pulling on her butt hair, her underside tail hair, and pinching. And to her, maybe it felt like something was attacking her, biting her, and she's running around trying to get away from it, and it's following her wherever she went. So she was in a panic. I eventually caught her and pulled the lollipop off, and then she immediately calmed down and starts purring like she's all happy, like, "Oh, you saved me from the wrath of that vicious lollipop." I could see that happen like 10 times full with a strip of flypaper. I hope it doesn't. Now that I mention that, I better take that down before I go to work, because if I'm at work and the cat gets like caught up in this thing, I can just imagine one of them getting the flypaper stuck to him and the others coming to investigate and getting stuck, and then I come home and the cats are like all tangled in a ball, all stuck together with flypaper in a panic and attacking each other and not knowing what to do and trying to get away. So I'm glad I told that story because that reminds me I got to take that down before I go to work on Tuesday. I actually have to go to work I go into work on Monday. They tell me that it's because they want me to fill out some paperwork, but I know they're going to ask me to pee in a cup. They're going to drug test me, which is okay. I'll pass because I haven't done drugs in about a month now. How long does weed stay in your pee? Even if they did find anything, it would be such low trace amounts that I don't think they would even care. It's possible, but I don't know. I doubt it. Okay, so let's see who I was going to call. I was going to start from the top of the list here with Lonesome Loser and call Carl and Vera. And what is MI? Is that Michigan? Yeah, Essexville, Michigan. So let me copy that. Nobody ever did come up with a premise, did we? We came up with a premise for the 70% guy. which I thought was a really good premise. I'm going to keep calling him and asking him, like, what's his percentage down to now? Like, the more we talk, the more it should go down. RBCP says it's 1 month for blood. I know it's like some ridiculous length of time for hair. Yeah. Hair, it's like a ridiculous amount of time, but I don't think they're going to do a hair test. I think, if anything, they'll do a pee test. And I think pee test is no longer than like 10 days to 2 weeks, in which case they'll find nothing. Okay, so let me go to my phone dialing program here. We never did come up with a premise, so I have no idea what I'm going to say. But I'm calling an old woman, so let me start out as Ed in case she's a widow, so I can work it around to getting a date. Oh, that's really loud. How do I turn that down? You know, you think about it.
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing, lovey? Is this Vera?
Yes.
Wonderful, it's so lovely to hear from you. I'm just calling you, Vera, because I needed someone to talk to, because my dear friend Neil Armstrong died earlier today. Have you heard the news?
No.
You haven't heard that Neil Armstrong died?
No, I didn't.
Well, he died earlier today, and he and I go way back to the NASA space training program.
Wow.
I never made it into space because I had a horrible drug addiction back then.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
Well, who am I talking to?
My name is Buzz Aldrin.
And how do you know me?
Well, I don't. I just live here now. I live in Michigan, and I was just calling up random people. You know how you can look up people online, and sometimes it'll tell you the age of the person that owns the phone.
So, gotcha.
So I saw that you were someone who was my age, and I figured you might remember us back when we were in our heyday.
Yeah, I remember the heyday part.
You have no idea what they put you through in order to become an astronaut.
I imagine a lot.
They put you in this wheel that spins around and around at 5 Gs.
Wow.
It causes brain damage because it smushes your brain against the wall of your skull.
Oh, dear.
But they need to test that you can withstand that because, you know, you need to be able to overcome that and still be able to land the thing, you know.
Sure. Well, you just take care and get yourself some nice good night's sleep.
How are you doing, Vera?
Oh, hanging in there one day at a time.
How's Carl doing?
Well, Carl, he passed away.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
When was that?
January 9th of this year, and we've also lost both our boys and a grandson, so they're all up there in heaven together.
You got some bad luck running in the family.
Not really.
Can I ask what happened?
Heart problems on his side.
Oh, he had heart problems on his side.
Yes, his mother's side.
What about your grandson?
He drowned in Lake Huron.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, I'm sorry I woke you up.
Okay, you take care now.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye.
Okay, I end the call right there because I'm feeling bad for this old lady. That's horrible. No parent should ever outlive their children, let alone two of them and a grandchild. That's horrible. Well, what a bummer note to start the program off on. Here I am trying to be silly and dumb and lighthearted, and instead I'm bummed out by this woman's sob story. Okay, that was just a warm-up. I don't know where I'm going with this. I like the idea that I said I was Buzz Aldrin. Oh, dear. And don't knock me for hanging up on her, because you know as well as I do, if I didn't hang up on her, you guys would be telling me that I'm evil for picking on an old lady with so much death surrounding her. So let's try up the next person. Judy and William are living in Ohio. An old guy answered. We got to come up with a premise, because I'm not thinking of anything. Is Buzz Aldrin even still alive?
This is Bill Fair's phone. Leave a message with your name and number.
Please enter your password. I'm sorry, that is not the correct password. I'm sorry, sorry you're having trouble. Please try.
Okay. One of these days I'll figure out how to hack voicemail, and then everybody better look out. Look out! Okay, next person on my list is Herbert and Rosetta in Maryland. And I do have to pee, but I'll wait a little while. I gotta at least get a couple calls in before I go away again for a pee break. We'll give them a couple rings because... Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Herbert!
Yeah.
How are you doing? This
How
is
are you?
me, it's Dale Yelvington.
Who?
By God, it's been so long since I've talked to you. It's a minnow's age.
Who is this?
I just told you, it's Dale Yelvington. And this is Herbert Daney. I recognize your voice from across a room of crowded drunken people.
Oh, I don't know who you are.
How is you and your old lady Rosetta doing?
I don't know who you are.
How's Rosetta doing? I'm a friend of Rosetta's. Maybe we only met once. Maybe you don't remember me. Plus, you're getting on in years, so, you know, the senility, the impotence, it all stacks up as you get older.
Yeah.
Last time I spoke with Rosetta, she told me that you had a problem with the shakes.
Problem with what?
The shakes. She was afraid maybe it was the beginning of the Parkinson's. Well, she said she didn't know. She says it's either the Parkinson's or the fact that he drinks so damn much.
Who drinks so much?
Well, according to her, you do. That's none of my business, I understand. I'm just asking about your shakiness.
I don't know who you are.
She says it's gotten so bad you can't even eat soup because your hand shakes so much the spoon is empty by the time you get it to your mouth.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Is she mistaken about your shakiness? You're not shaky?
No.
Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. So maybe that means you stopped the drinking? Or you're taking medications for your Parkinson's?
No, I stopped drinking myself.
Oh, you stopped drinking. See, there you go. See, I knew.
Yeah.
Is Rosetta there?
No, I stopped drinking over 20-some years.
Wonderful. Can I ask you why you stopped? Did it get real bad?
Well, it's good enough, I guess.
You had the shakes and the diarrhea, waking up in jail, not remembering what you did to get there and all that.
No, I ain't never been to jail.
She told me the whole story. She told me everything.
No, I've been to jail.
You pass out and pee yourself and turn over, vomit on the pillow?
No.
Those were the days. I was once like that.
All right, then, well.
I haven't had a drink in 30 years.
Well, that's good.
And I miss it every damn day. But nowadays, because I'm so old, they give me so many medications, I don't need to drink no more. I can get fucked up legally.
Where you located at now?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
I live not far from you. I see you're still living at Leonard.
What's your name?
My name is Dale Yelvington. See, I told you remember.
No, I don't remember that.
I used to hang out with Rosetta.
Oh, yeah?
I met her at the bingo. I used to help her cheat at bingo.
Oh, yeah.
She would have like 8 cards in front of her, but she couldn't keep her eye on them all. So I would have another 8, and I'd keep an eye on both of ours, and, you know, we'd win like every single damn prize.
All right, then. Well, I got to go to bed. Go to church tomorrow. I'll talk to you later.
Wait, Herbert, don't hang up. That's ungodly. Yeah. I was calling to speak to Rosetta. Because you answered, I was just trying to be polite and make small talk.
Oh, no, she's not here.
She's not there?
Nope.
She had a bingo?
Oh, no.
I want you to level with me, Herbert. Is she dead?
No.
Oh, she's not dead yet. She divorced you? I'm not sure where the hell that was going to go. I'm grasping at straws here. You guys got to help me out. Help me out with like a decent premise. Help me out with a decent premise. In the meantime, I think I can go check out some of this guy's music, because I'll be calling him later. And Nunu sent me a link to some of this guy's awful music, so... Well, I shouldn't say it's awful before I hear it, but I'm betting it's not very good. Okay, so let's see if we can... I'm gonna post this, and this will be some black guy who is in something called a heavy impact band. He doesn't give the name of the band. That would have helped immensely if I could actually know the name of the band, but maybe it's in the video here. Let's listen.
Let's go! My way, see this little shorty, roll down my window, just so I can talk to that girl. Oh, that girl. Oh, that girl. Oh, that girl. I said her body was in, said she was a lady. Had to take a bit, harder than a baby. Had to take it all, that's what she is like a baby. On top of that shit, I thought it was too serious.
I gotta admit, that doesn't sound a whole lot worse than what I hear on modern radio nowadays. To me, this sounds no worse than something like Rihanna. I need to cleanse my ears with some actual decent music. Here's a song. I haven't played this in a couple months. I know I play it a lot, but that's because I like it. And you guys have told me that you like it too, because everybody always asks me, like in emails and like in the chat room, like, who did that? The artist is Brett Dennen, D-E-N-N-E-N, and the song is San Francisco. And I'm gonna go take a piss in the bathroom, whereas I take a shit.
If you wanna go, but I won't follow, just so you know. Leave, if you wanna leave, but I won't be here when you come home. I'm gonna move to San Francisco, look up some old friends. I'm gonna get me an 80 Pico in an old Mercedes-Benz. This hometown keeps shrinking, there's too many people in my junk. I'm gonna do a lot of drinking, cause it don't hurt when I'm drunk. Oh, if you wanna go, but I won't follow, just so you know. If you wanna leave, but I won't be here when you come home. I'm gonna rent me an old Victorian, down in the lower hay. I'm gonna get me an old accordion and play for the tourists on the Golden Gate. I'm gonna plant a little garden, paint my bathroom blue. I'm gonna try real hard to get over you. Here in the city, life it don't move so slow. There's plenty of good people I know. Up in North Beach, they drink spicy Italian liquor. Down on market days, a lot of hobos and hustlers. Restaurants deep in the Tenderloin, you can have anything you want. Over in the Mission, it's always a sunny day.
About all I got left is a sense of humor to wash tub.
Well, at least there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Go if you wanna go, but I won't follow. Just so you know, be if you wanna leave, but I won't be here when you come home. When you come home.
Head full of good stuff, belly full of grub, money in your pocket when there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Sweet as honeysuckle on the vine, Ma.
Your nails won't break and your toes won't stub. You never get a fever when there ain't no hole in the wash tub. If you look to the good side, falling down's a free ride. Slipping and a sliding in the mud. If your back is hurting, I can say for certain I'll be there to treat you to a soothing back rub.
When there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Lunch at the upper crust, dinner at the club, high on the hog when there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Watermelon gardens, berries on the shrub, cookies in the kitchen when there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Hey, Emmett, look what I caught!
Good catch, Wendell.
Yeah, they're really biting today.
I'll be there to treat you to a soothing back rub when there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Okay, I take that back. That is completely horrible. That is awful. Okay, the name of the band is Heavy Impact featuring A-Rod, because, you know, every rap band has to feature someone, because they know they don't have near enough talent to not need help from outside. I think that's how it goes. And the Emmett the Otter... we had a request in the chat room for me to play. Apparently somebody, the guy who played the Count on Sesame Street, and Waldorf, one of the angry old men that hung out in the balcony on the Muppets, died. So that was in honor of him, whoever he is. Don't even know his name, don't really even care. All I care about is prank calls. So let me see who I'm calling next. We have Herbert and Alma living in Washington. An old woman answered, so I'm probably going to talk to Alma, and Herbert is probably dead. One thing I noticed, I've done this so long, widows never seem to bother taking their dead husband's name off the phone bill. I suppose I shouldn't say anything because my dad did the same damn thing. He never took my dead mom's name off of his phone bill. Alma, tell us.
Hello?
Hello, is that Alma?
Yeah.
I know it is. I recognize that voice anywhere. Alma, it's so good to hear from you.
Who is this?
My name is Ed Rosenthal, and I was calling to offer consolation after I heard about the death of Herbert.
Oh, I'm sorry, you heard wrong. Who are you calling for?
I was calling for Alma Khan. And I know that's you. I recognize your voice. You sound a bit older, but then again, so do I.
Say that again?
I say you sound a bit older, but then again, so do I. I'm also old and decrepit.
Why don't you mind your own business?
I'm calling to offer my condolences because...
there are no condolences necessary.
Dale told me that Herbert had passed on.
No.
The liver disease had finally taken him.
No.
You mean he's okay?
The loveliest girl in Vienna was Alma, the smartest as well. Once you picked her up on your antenna, you'd never be free of her spell.
I was going to try to sing that song to her, but she was angry. She never let me get that far. Should I call her back? Let me take a vote from the chat room. Shall I call her back? Angry Alma, shall I call her again? Let me see. I'm going to look up the lyrics to that song, so I don't have to do sing-along. I'm going to look up the lyrics and try to sing her that song. Let me type in lyrics to Tom Lehrer's Alma Mahler. No, there you go. That didn't take too long. I wonder if she won't stay on the line if I try to sing to her. Carlito says, yes, sing that song to her. I'm going to try. Let me practice here. The loveliest girl in Vienna was Alma, the smartest as well. Once you picked her up on your antenna, you'd never be free of her spell. Her lovers were many and varied. From the day she began her beguine, there were 3 famous ones whom she married. Oh, see? There you go. I would have mispronounced that word because it wouldn't have rhymed. I should have said, from the day she began her beguine, there were 3 famous ones whom she married, and God knows how many between. Alma, tell us, all modern women are jealous. Which of your magical wands got you Gustav and Walter and Franz? The first one she married was Mahler, whose buddies all knew him as Gustav, and each time she saw her he'd holler, "Ach, that is a Fräulein I must have." So I'm going to have to do Ed and a German accent. I'm glad I read ahead. Their marriage, however, was murder. He'd scream to the heavens above, I'm writing das Lied von der Erde, and she only wants to make love. Alma, tell us, while married to Gus, she met Gropius, and soon she was swinging with Walter. Gus died, and her tears, they were copious. She cried all the way to the altar. It makes no sense because this song is like 60, 70 years old, and it is based on current events. So if you want to inform yourself, you can look up Alma Mahler. That's not really relevant to our prank call here. The more nonsensical, the merrier. I'm sorry, Alma. We've gotten off on the wrong foot. Hello, Alma.
Who is this?
I told you already. My name is Ed Rosenthal, and I've written a song for you. I'd like to sing it if you'd oblige.
Where do you live?
I live right here in Washington. Richland, as a matter of fact. So here I go. She is angry. I'm going to try it one last time, and I'm just going to start out singing. No talking, just singing. That's okay, I got all that.
You have reached 946-9244.
Okay, I'll leave it on her machine.
We're unable to come to the phone just now, so please call back or leave your phone, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
The loveliest girl in Vienna was Alma, the smartest as well. Once you picked her up on your antenna, you'd never be free of her spell. Her lovers were married and varied from the day she began her beguine. There were 3 famous ones whom she married, and God knows how many between. Alma, tell us, all modern women are jealous. Which of your magical wands got you Herbert and Walter and Franz? The first one she married was Herbert, whose buddies all knew him as Gustav, and each time he saw her he'd holler, Ach, this is the Fräulein I must have. Their marriage, Hello?
Yeah?
Hello, I was singing my song for you. Since you were so rude, you kept hanging up on me.
Who are you?
I told you, it's Ed Rosenthal from right here in Richland, Washington. I'll continue if you will.
What's your phone number?
It's right there on your caller ID. Their marriage, however, was murder, and he'd scream to the heavens above. I'm... Okay, abiding by my own rules, I can't call her back more than 3 times in one night, because that would just be legal harassment.
Her lovers were many and varied from the day she began her beguine. There were 3 famous ones whom she married, and God knows how many between. Alma, tell us, all modern women are jealous. Which of your magical wands got you Gustav and Walter and Franz? The first one she married was Mahler, whose buddies all knew him as Gustav, and each time he saw her he'd holler, Ach, that is the Fräulein I must have. Their marriage, however, was murder. He'd scream to the heavens above, I'm writing das Lied von der Erde, and she only wants to make love. Alma, Alma, tell us. All modern women are jealous. You should have a statue in bronze for bagging Gustav and Walter and Franz. While married to Gus, she met Gropius, and soon she was swinging with Walter. Gus died and her teardrops were copious. She cried all the way to the altar, but he would work late at the Bauhaus and only came home now and then. She said, what am I running? A chow house? It's time to change partners again. Alma, tell us. All modern women are jealous. Though you didn't even use ponds, you got Gustav and Walter and Franz. While married to Walt, she'd met Werfel, and he too was caught in her net. He married her, but he was careful, 'cause Alma was no Bernadette. And that is the story of Alma, who knew how to receive and to give. The body that reached her embalmer was one that had known how to live. Alma, tell us, how can they help being jealous? Ducks always envy the swans who get Gustav and Walter. You never did falter with Gustav and Walter and Franz.
And I'm back. I just had to play the rest of that song. Do I have any Dr. Demento? I grew up on Dr. Demento. When I was a little kid, I used to sit there at my little boombox radio. We didn't have digital radios back in my day. All there was a little dial that you would turn slowly. And I hooked a wire up to the antenna of my radio, and I ran it out the window of my bedroom, climbed onto the roof, and wired it to the antenna for the television. This is back when we still had television antennas, you know. So I got, like, incredible reception. I would pull in, like, radio stations all the way, like, college radio all the way from, like, New Jersey. And I would sit there Sunday afternoon because that's when Dr. Demento was usually syndicated. So I would sit there and I would go through the dial, like, very slowly, like, listening to the music. And as soon as I heard a weird song, I would stay tuned and listen. And I can't tell you how many times I did that, and I actually found Dr. Demento playing in some weird little tiny little radio station market, like in New Hampshire or something like that. Dr. Demento was no longer around, but when he was around, he was a syndicated radio DJ, which means, you know, he sells his show to, like, whoever will pay for it and broadcast it at whatever odd hour. He doesn't care as long as they pay. And the show was really cheap, so a lot of these, like, little low-rent radio stations would have it, and it didn't get a whole lot of ratings, and usually didn't last very long on any station, because he would play songs like that people have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Who knows who Alma Mahler is? Because even back then, the song was, like, 50 years outdated. But he used to play his novelty songs, and he discovered Weird Al Yankovic. To this day, that's still his one big claim to fame. He discovered Weird Al Yankovic. I don't have any Dr. Demento, but let me see if I can find any Weird Al that's not too sucky. I wonder what Weird Al's most popular video is on YouTube. Let's take a look and see. Wow, 7.5 million views for Fat, but I'd rather hear this one. Keeping with the Dr. Demento theme. Hello. Hello, Warren?
Yeah.
I knew it was you. Listen, I got a problem with you.
Yeah?
Well, not so much with you, but with your wife.
What wife?
She's been going around town accusing me of dropping a turd in the backseat of her car. And I don't know what kind of drugs she's on. But I don't appreciate spreading these kind of rumors about me.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not married.
I know you are. You're married to Wanda. The one who's going around telling people I took a crap.
She died 4 years ago, you stupid idiot.
So why the hell is the ghost of Wanda going around telling people that I took a crap in the back of her car?
Well, listen, I don't know what you're on, but she died 4 years ago, so stick it up yours.
That was a callback to the turd in the car because the woman... Okay, let me demonstrate my association. Her name is Wanda, and Wanda Sykes made that famous call about the turd in the backseat of the car. So I was trying to pretend that Wanda was the one accusing me of taking a turd in the back of her car. You get it? And now back to Weird Al.
To a cord from your lot, and there is a huge turd in the back seat.
And there's what in the back seat?
A turd, a piece of shit, a big ass human turd in the back seat of my car.
Ma'am, I assure you, our guys did not take a dump in your car. If you want to, bring that car back and we'll take a look at it.
You want to take a look at it? My car is fine. It's that big ass turd in the back seat.
Okay, what would you like me to do?
Okay, how about I go to your house and pitch a loaf on your couch?
Ma'am,
how about that?
Ma'am, what would you like me to do to fix the situation?
I want somebody to come over here, get this turd out my back seat,
That's
clean
not going to
my
happen.
car. What do you mean it's not going to happen?
You can bring the car here and we can take a look at it.
I'm going to bring it back there. You know what I'm going to do?
Huh.
I'm going to take a dump in every last car you got there. I'm going to pee on your counter. I'm going to do it all.
Okay.
Now you see what I mean. You see what I was going for. Bruce.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, Leona?
I'm doing all right.
I was just thinking to myself how we all need to embrace the deliciousness of stupidity.
You what now?
Oh, that was just a random thought that came into my head, but how are you doing, Leona?
Well, I'm not doing too bad, not doing the best either, but then I'm all right.
What's wrong with you?
Well, just old age, I guess.
The same here. They tell me I have an enlarged prostate, and at first I thought it was a good thing because they say prostate, and I'm like, oh, that's a good thing, right? And they say, no, that's not a good thing at all.
Well.
So how is Harold doing?
Well, he's hanging in there, about all I can say.
He's not doing so hot, huh?
Well, he's not doing the best, no.
You ever think about what you're going to do once he's gone? Because he's likely going to be gone before you are.
Maybe, who knows?
Well, women typically outlive their husbands.
Pardon?
I say women typically outlive their husbands.
Well, ordinarily, yes.
So you ever think about life after Howard?
Well, I've thought a lot about it. Who am I talking to?
This is Ed Rosenthal from Mena, Arkansas.
It's who?
Ed Rosenthal from Mena, Arkansas. That rhymes. I like that.
Well, now you don't know me.
Well, no, I was a friend of Harold's, but I understand that he's sickly, and I figured he would be unable to come to the phone.
Well, no, we're both in bed sound asleep.
Is he capable of talking, or is he so far
No.
gone?
No, he isn't.
He can't talk no more?
Well, he can't hear on the phone, no.
Why don't you get him one of those earpieces like I have?
Well, he wouldn't know how to talk anyhow. Like he's got Alzheimer's.
Oh, so, well, he would know how to talk, but what he would say just wouldn't make sense, is what you mean.
Right.
What's it like?
Pardon?
See, my wife is in early stage Alzheimer's, and I wonder what it's like. Like,
Well-
does he recognize you? Does he remember you?
Well, he knows who I am, yes.
What about his children? Does he know who they are?
Not always.
You know, when I was a youngin', very shortly before my father died, he was sick and he was in the hospital and he had the Alzheimer's. And I went to go see him. I think I was maybe 16 years old. And I asked my father, in a moment of what I thought was lucidity, and I asked him, "Who am I?" And he says, "You're my friend Leon." And that broke my heart that my father didn't comprehend that I was his son.
Right.
And I asked him what year it was, and he says 1945.
Yeah.
And I got kind of angry with him, and I said, "Dad, if it was 1945, you'd be single. I wasn't born yet. But instead, you're dying in the hospital because you chose a life of alcohol, and now you're dying of liver disease." But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about happier things. Did you watch America's Got Talent this past week?
Watch what?
America's Got Talent.
No.
You know, it's that talent show on the NBC.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, you should watch. It stars Satan himself, Howard Stern. You ever hear of Howard Stern?
No.
He's the devil incarnate, I swear to God. But anyway, he's on that show, and he judges people, and all he does is tell them how bad they are and crush their hopes and their dreams and their feelings, and he makes them cry because he feeds off of people's pain like a succubus.
Huh.
So, Leona, what do you think is going to happen after Harold's gone? You're never going to get jiggy again?
Heavens, no.
Never again?
Never.
You don't have any desires no more?
No.
Well, that's kind of sad.
I don't think so.
No need for you to be lonely in your old age.
Well, I got a whole bunch of children, so it don't matter. Some of them are here every day.
How many children you got?
Well, I got 8 children and 19 grandchildren and about 19 great-grandchildren and fixed to have a great-great-granddaughter.
Oh, my God. You're like a breeding factory.
Well, some of those are adopted.
All right, they don't count.
Now, I don't know why you got our
You
number.
have any black grandchildren?
What?
You have any black grandchildren?
No.
You say that as though it would be a bad thing.
Well, none of my children are married to a black person.
No, I said adopted.
Adopted? No, they're not adopted.
How many are adopted? You said you had some adopted grandchildren.
No, adopted children.
Oh, you adopted some children yourself?
Yes.
God bless you. That's very noble.
Now, I still don't know who I'm talking to.
Maybe that's because maybe there's a hint of senility in you.
Well, there shouldn't be.
My name is Ed Rosenthal. I live in Mena, Arkansas. I was a friend of Harold's up until he started to lose his wits.
When was you a friend of his?
Last time I spoke to Harold was probably, oh my God, now it's probably 1990. It's that long ago. And just like I said to my father back in the day, I asked him, this is when he was first beginning to show signs of the Alzheimer's. You remember back in the 90s?
Well, sure, I remember back in the 90s, but how did you know him?
Well, we were fishing buddies, and, well, we had worked together, and we had become fishing buddies. Even though we didn't work together anymore, we kept in touch so we could go fishing and hunting and, you know, things that men do and don't tell their wives about.
Well, you've got the wrong number.
See, that's why I said. That's why I said things they don't tell their wives about.
You how it feels.
Okay,
and you know what? You sound like a big burly man. It probably came out your ass.
Oh, yeah,
How much you weigh?
I don't make it a habit of going out and taking a dump in the car.
How much do you weigh?
About 400 pounds.
That's your turd.
That's your turd.
Yes.
That came up from a 400-pound man, huh?
This is a 400-pound
Either that or a gorilla.
man. Either that or a gorilla.
Okay.
I'm driving this car right to my lawyer's office, and I'm going to let the whole world see. You're going to be on the news this evening, buddy. I'm going to get 7 on my side. Watch. You're going to be on the news.
Can you describe the piece of shit? I mean, what does it look like?
You know what it is. It came out your ass. What the hell? What kind of... Asking me what color. I tell you what, it smells ungodly. That's what it smells like. Smells like you...
Looks like you've been eating crayons.
Sold your ass to the devil. That came from the pits of hell.
Well, how big is it? How long is it?
It's about as long as my arm. I don't think it's fun. Why y'all? This is not fun. I got a damn 2x4 in my back seat. You know, I think this some racial shit too. That's what this is. Little kids are running away from it.
Oh my!
I'm glad y'all find this funny.
Okay.
You're probably jacking off on the steering wheels too, don't you?
All right. How long does it look like it's been sitting there?
Steam is coming off of it, okay?
Steam is coming off of it?
Yes.
Well, it can't be there that long then, huh?
I am taking this. It's a fresh turd.
Okay. What you need to do is you need to bring that turd back, and we'll match it up. We got a lineup. We'll match it up with the other turds that we have.
Well, what you need to do is learn how to use a toilet.
So you're not going to bring the turd back to me?
No. I'm starting to like it.
You're going to keep it as a pet?
I'm going to keep it because it's a nice look. You know what? It's a nice conversation piece.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, man.
Oh, thank you, Bubba.
I'm going to do Jill. Do at least one Jill call.
This is 617-868-4068. Please leave your message at the tone.
When you have finished recording, you... I'm sorry, but I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry, but I didn't hear... Bye.
These newfangled machines are too difficult to hack. In my day, answer machines were so simple to hack. I taught an entire generation of prank callers how to hack answer machines. And by Gord, if they don't give me one lick of credit for it. Hello, is this Jacob?
No. Who's calling?
Sandra. Listen, I got a bone to pick with you. Who
is this?
This is Mrs. Rosenthal, the throat cancer lady from right here, Indian Mountain, Tennessee. I heard all the trash you've been talking about me around town because, you know, others have come and told me what you've been saying.
Jake, do you know a Mrs. Rosenthal?
No, I don't need to talk to Jacob. I need to talk to you, Sandra. I asked if you were Jacob.
Sandra's been dead since 2009.
Sandra's dead?
She's been dead since 2009.
So who am I talking to?
You're talking to his second wife.
Oh, I'm sorry. How are you doing, dear? I could tell from your voice that you enjoyed the smoking also. How are you doing, dear?
I'm doing great.
How long have you two been married?
Since 2011.
See, that's why I'm calling, because I was trying to get a hold of Sandra because she was going all around town talking all kinds of crazy nastiness about me.
You know, I don't know who the hell you are.
Of course you don't, because I thought you were Sandra. I didn't know that Jacob had
Well,
remarried.
you know what? I knew
don't know
his
who would
first wife,
remarry that
Derek.
decrepit, old, wrinkled-up, impotent old fool. I don't know who would do that, but to each their own, I guess. I'm calling again. I'm gonna do it as if Jill was trying to disguise her voice.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
I was gonna try to play Jill as though Jill was trying to disguise her voice. That would have been hysterical if she had gone along, but she don't want to play no more. Okay, there's an angry-sounding old guy in Riverview, Florida that we need to talk to. He's next on my list here. And I've been one by one going through every single Lonesome Loser number, but if you also sent in a number, don't be ashamed, be brave, and be proud to be a boy lover. Eventually I'll get to your number. Even if you are a boy lover. I'm gonna do max velocity. There are certain voices I like doing more than others.
Hey, you've reached the hop. Sorry we missed your call.
Invalid entry. To record it.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to do anything with that, so let's move on to the next person. We have Norman and Elizabeth in Excelsior Springs, M.O. Is that Missouri? I think so. I'm supposed to have learned that shit in high school, huh? And I gotta pee again. But I'll do a couple more calls before I go relieve my bladder.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, dear?
What?
Is this Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Wonderful. How are you doing, love?
All right.
This is Max Velocity calling for Norman.
You want to talk to Norman?
Is he there, please?
Yeah, he's still in bed. Norman.
Well, wake him up. It's very important. There's been a death in the family.
Hello.
Norman,
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. Aunt Rosenthal is gone. She's passed on earlier tonight.
Who?
Apparently, she was using the sausage grinder. She was trying to make some of her homemade sausages. She got pulled inside, it ground up her arm and half a head. Oh dear, it's so horrible. I can't think about it. So I was just calling to let you know.
Okay.
You remember our Aunt Jill?
Yeah.
Well, have you no feeling? You don't care that Jill is gone? She was pulled in through the grinder and came out the other side like ground beef. She was making sausages, so she had the casings attached to the machine, so her parts were ground up and put inside the sausages before someone was able to stop the machine in time. So from here forward, we've already, the rest of the family has all voted on this. Her new nickname is going to be Jill Sausage. instead of Joe Rosenthal. Norman, I understand this is a lot to comprehend so late at night, but say something. Hello? Perhaps you want to share some final words for Jill Sausage? He's got nothing to say about Jill Sausage. I've said this so many times before, but every time I say it, it seems perfectly appropriate. That is the stupidest call I've ever done. Anyway, I gotta go pee, so listen to this song from someone you've never heard of before, named Clem Snide. The song is called I Love the Unknown.
She asked him, why can we not be together? Why is it we have to part? Why do you leave with a stranger when I am revealing my heart? Because I love you. Back with another one with the block rocking beats. Back with another one with the block rocking beats.
Did I ever mention on the air that I'm about 75% deaf in my right ear? All throughout the night tonight, my ear has been clearing and unclearing itself, like my sinuses get clogged, like from the inside. And all throughout the program, I'm listening to things and like I lean the wrong way or I swallow, and then the sound comes back. So I'm going like from mono to stereo, mono to stereo, mono to stereo, like the right ear working and not working, working and not working. You don't understand. I'm just going to be completely nonsensical this time.
Hello.
Oh, hello! Is this Wilma?
I'm sorry, I don't understand you.
Wilma!
Oh, yeah.
Is Georgie there?
Yeah, he's here.
Well, quit fiddly fool and put him on the line.
Who's calling, please?
My name is Dolores.
Well, I am not going to wake him up to talk to you.
Well, he'll be very, very angry if you don't.
Why would he be angry?
Because you're keeping him from his one true love. That is Dolores.
Well, Dolores?
I didn't say Dolores. Or delicious, although it is very delicious.
Listen, I have company, and you have woke me up, and there's a baby, and this baby is crying.
You have what?
I have guests in my home, and you have woke up the baby. Why would you call his one true love in the middle of the night? Are you?
Because I wouldn't call if it wasn't so terribly important. Hello! It's very, very important. There's been a death in the family overseas.
We don't know anybody overseas, you crazy person.
Oh, you don't, but he does. You call me a crazy what?
Person.
Well, that's accurate. I am indeed a person. A person who once, many long years ago, had a very torrid and sensual affair with George Watt.
Well, you know what? You can have him now if you like. You can come and get him. He's crippled and he's lame and he's really pathetic. So I'll have his clothes all ready when you come and get him.
Listen, if you're that fed up with him, why not just kick him down the stairs and say he fell?
We don't have any stairs. Are you crazy?
Well,
Good
go
night.
someplace that has stairs. Rent a hotel room or something. It's not that difficult. Wow. She took me off guard with that response. She completely wants her husband dead. I don't know what to say about that. But I'm going to go back to the chat room because there are people that gave me numbers. And I know that, Tabachi, you sent me numbers, but I accidentally canceled out of the chat room, so I lost your numbers. That's why I always say the best way to send me numbers is through the AIM. But Brandon is sending me the phone number for Brent from Knoxville, Tennessee, and Alex, also from Knoxville. He's a call screener where you say your name. Okay, so that's no good. Brandon, what do I say to this person who is clearly a friend of yours? What do I say? You know him, so you can give me some decent info that I can use to get him to believe that I know who he is. See, this is why when I say names, numbers, and info, info is a very important part of that. Other than that, the other numbers I have are from the UK, but I'm not ready to go to the UK yet, so let's... some black guy who's in the Heavy Impact band that we played earlier, that... Let me refresh your memory by playing some more of this awful, awful, horrible music. Man tits! Man tits! That's horrible. Let me call them up about their song called Man Tits. Oh, he has another song here. Let's check out his other, probably equally horrible song. Let's hear their other equally horrible song. Skip ahead.
1, 2, 3, movement! Alright, movement is gonna go the same way. So we supposed to flip and switch words around, just like everybody. Heavy Impact taking over my timeline. Oh my God!
That's not a real. That's a clip of just fat black people talking. What's the name of the guy who owns Virgin Records? Richard Branson? I'm going to call them up as Richard Branson, saying I want to sign them to Virgin Records.
Sprint voicemail box of...
Oh, shit. Okay, that's not going to work. Well, thank you for trying, Nunu, with that one. How about the 70% guy? And you know what, Nunu? You forgot to give me a number. I'm just looking back here. His name is Jay. He's near Carriage Hill at the moment. His phone is at 70% charged 2 hours ago. Call people as senile Ed to talk about how Louis Armstrong has died because he took steroids. Was that your joke? I'm going to talk about Louis Armstrong like the what a wonderful world instead of the I have him confused with the astronaut guy. Yeah, you forgot to send me a phone number. Nunu, you're supposed to be a pro. Okay, so I can't do that. Let's minimize that. And go back to the chat room and see if there's anybody else. And that's all I got. Shit, that's all I got. Oh, okay, the 70% guy, Jay, is Heavy Impact guy. Okay, so I tried to call him, he got voicemail, so that's not going to work. But at least I tried. And trying is all that matters. At least that's what they used to say on G.I. Joe. No, they used to say, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Nunu has a decent idea here. Have Louis, Neil, and Lance Armstrong all confused with each other. Like, I'm so disappointed that Louis Armstrong got thrown out of sporting because he was caught dosing. And wasn't Neil Armstrong the best saxophonist you ever heard of before? And I'm back! Now we're going to call up, you remember that horrible music I was playing before? A Heavy Impact? Apparently somebody is answering now, so I'm going to call up as Richard Branson, the owner and president of Virgin Records, trying to sign them up to a record deal. Of course, using the voice of Ed. Maybe a youngified Ed. Youngified grapes from a lemon tree taste better.
Please leave your message for...
See, Nunu, they're answering for you, but they won't answer for me. Because every time you call, you set them on edge. You make them suspicious. I still have this number for... Let me recap. It's an Illinois number. Her name is Teresa, or so she says she is. She called to my friend saying she's from this website and wants to know if he was with anyone and how often he masturbates. It was a very random call, so the premise is call back and let her know you don't appreciate her calling your nephew like that. Use Jill's voice and say you're reporting her for sexual harassment, and if the call goes smoothly, say you know who she is and that you're going to tell her parents that she's been harassing you and your nephew. If she asks who your nephew is, tell you it's not important. ABS, I'm assuming that you are the nephew involved, because how else would you know this info? But that's neither here nor there. You don't need to be afraid to give me your info, because all you gotta say is like, don't mention me, don't talk about me, and I won't.
Voicemail box of 70.
I don't mess around with voicemail. I don't know how to hack voicemail, so I don't even bother trying no more. Okay, so who's next on my list? Now it is officially 1 o'clock, so I can move on to the UK. Lovely, wonderful, beautiful Negro. We have Blake, who's in Cardiff, Wales. I'm going to go take a piss and hopefully give you guys enough time to come up with a premise for me to be calling UK people. Nunu had a decent idea, but I would like some other ideas. And don't be afraid if it sounds or seems difficult, because God knows how many times have I done like how the song goes. The difficult I'll do right now. The impossible may take a little while. I say I care forever. Animals in need. Whatever that means. We're calling up Blake in Wales. Very early.
Hello?
Hello, is this Blake?
Yes.
How are you doing, love?
I'm fine.
Listen, I was calling because I was so upset upon hearing the news of Neil Armstrong's death. And you know, I think it was because of all of the steroids that he took. You know, you read it on the news how he was dosing and using steroids. I think that's why he died. You're breathing very heavy. Are you having sex, dear?
I am waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh, so it's a wakey, eggs and bakey time for work. Wake up and get to church.
Who are you and what do you want?
My name is Max Velocity. And I was calling to express condolences for the death of astronaut Lance Armstrong.
Oh, it's total rubbish. No, bugger off.
I'm going to call him back. Hello, Blake. Blake? Did you pick up and hang up on me? Well, if I were American, I would call you a dick. But because I'm British, I'll call you the dog's bollocks. Which is worse. I called you a pair of dog's balls. Instead of just a dick. Because a dick could be a positive thing if you have a fancy, if you've got a pretty penis. I've got a pretty penis. I don't think he wants to play anymore, so let's call up John Atkinson. I'm going to tell him how much I loved him at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. If you need any explanation, I'm confusing John Atkinson with Rowan Atkinson, the guy who plays Mr. Bean. You know, it's a bad joke when you have to explain the joke. The British people would have thought it was hysterical. They would have got it immediately, but I need to explain it for our American listeners. Oh, I copied and pasted it, and it says that is not a valid number. Let me try it again. Let me copy and try to paste again. And that's not a valid number. Okay, John Atkinson is not a valid number. Next person on the list is Belle Francis. I was looking forward to doing my Rowan Atkinson joke, but now I can't. And Belle Francis is an old woman living in Bath, England. Which is ironic, because people in England never take a bath. Maybe I need to add the plus sign. Oh, yep, that was it. I need to add the plus sign. Okay, so I'll go back to Rowan Atkinson later.
Hello?
Hello, Belle.
Hello?
How are you doing, love?
Yes?
You get it?
Yes?
Got it?
Yes?
Good.
Good for you too.
Wonderful. How are you doing, love?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm sorry to wake you up so early, but
yes?
I wouldn't do it if I weren't so terribly distraught.
Oh, really?
I woke up and I read on the morning telly that Neil Armstrong has passed on. He died last night.
Is that right?
Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. He died last night.
That's right, yes.
And I think it's because he did so many steroids while he was swimming.
Could have been.
Could have been. See, you know.
Yes, I know.
Wonderful. What about Maury Amsterdam?
What about that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just old and confused.
So me too.
Armstrong. Wonderful.
Yes.
That's a lovely name. That means his arms are strong, like he's a big, burly, manly man.
Could be.
The kind of man you'd like to feel his arms around you whilst you're in bed.
That's right.
You ever fantasize about being with Lance Armstrong? I'm going to call her back about Louis Armstrong dying now. I'm sorry, Belle, we got disconnected. I'm sorry. My phone is acting up. Hello? Hello? She hung up on me immediately. But let me go back to Mr. Atkinson. I wish I knew how to do a decent Mr. Bean impression, but you really can't do a Mr. Bean impression because it's all visual, mostly. If you go to CNN, there's a wonderful story up there of how there was there's like a little town in Italy where they had like a faded picture of Christ that they wanted to restore, and they hired someone to like restore it, but they didn't hire like a real artist. They hired a parishioner, and this person like obliterated the painting and came up with something that looked like a Smurf. It looks like something. Literally, like, even the news story that I was watching, it was something out of the Mr. Bean film, like when Mr. Bean ruins the painting of Whistler's mother and replaces it with, like, a pencil drawing. It's hard to describe, but it's up on CNN if you want to go take a look. This person destroyed this masterpiece. And the people in town are saying, well, leave it up, because it might attract visitors. It might be good for tourism. Come look at the destroyed masterpiece. Or as Vanity Smurf would say, Master Pesa.
Hello?
Hello, is this John?
Yes?
I was calling to say how much I enjoyed your appearance at the opening ceremonies.
Who are you?
Completely brilliant.
Who are you?
When you threw that tissue into the man's piano, hysterical. My wife and I were laughing.
Who are you?
I wanted to thank you for that. My name is Max Velocity, from right here in Dalverton.
Really?
You're wonderful.
Why are you phoning me up at this time?
Because I wanted to show you my appreciation for your appearance during the opening ceremonies.
Opening ceremonies of what?
The Olympics, dear. You remember, you were there. You performed.
I think you're a complete...
And by God, you did perform well.
I think you're an absolute bloody idiot.
Don't take umbrage.
I do take umbrage.
Mr. Atkinson, I've been following your career for many, many decades.
Don't talk rubbish.
I've been watching you since you were on that stupid Pope show in England.
I think I should get onto the police.
Why?
Because
I'm trying to show my appreciation for a performer I admire.
Don't talk rubbish. You're a stupid idiot.
Mr. Bean, don't be like that.
Don't you talk to me like that. You're a stupid idiot.
Well, so are you, Mr. Bean. You're the one throwing your snot rag into the piano. In case you missed it, during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, Mr. Bean appeared and did a sketch where he threw a snot rag into someone else's piano. It's horrible when I have to explain every joke that I'm trying to do because it's way too inside. Rubbish! You're a bloody idiot! I love getting those clips where people like call me names because I can isolate them and use them for an intro later. You're a bloody idiot! Like this one. This is one of my favorites. Let me see if I can play this one real quick.
Elaine, hang this fucking phone up. This is an idiot.
Elaine, hang this fucking phone up. This here's an idiot. I love that. And you're telling me to call back. Okay. I'll call back. One last time.
Hello?
Hello, I was calling for Mr. Rawlings.
Yeah, who's calling?
My name is Max Velocity.
Alright, where are you from?
I'm from Bath.
Alright, just a minute.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, go on. Got your name.
Hello?
Hello, is this Kevin then?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
What are you wearing?
Who's speaking?
My name is Max Velocity from Bath.
Jolly good.
I live on the Lindleys. I'm a neighbour of yours, apparently. It says here in my book that you are 20. I am 12. So we apparently live just down the road from each other.
Yeah.
I'm calling because I was very upset about the death of Louis Armstrong, the first man on the moon. I'm not going to get farther with that. But you wanted me to call up John Atkinson again, so let me go back. And we're going to call him up again because he's already pissed off with me. Sometimes that makes for the best calls. When you repeatedly harass people. The law says I can't... The law says it's not harassment if I don't call them more than 3 times. So that gives me 3 strikes. Besides, what the fuck is he gonna do? I can call him 20 times. What are they gonna do? Send the Queen's
Welcome to BT Answer
service after me?
1571.
Okay, he's not answering the phone no more, so I can't call up Mr. Atkinson no more. Next person on my list was Bob Allen, a man with 2 first names, from Alva. Alva, tell us, all modern women are jealous. Which of your magical wands? I can't believe I did a prank call earlier tonight based on like a 70-year-old Tom Lehrer prank.
Hello.
Hello, Robert.
Who's this?
This is Max Velocity. Do you mind if I call you Bobzilla?
No, get off the phone.
Oh, no, we need to speak, Bob. He's angry. Let me call him again. He's angry. Let me call him again. Let me harass him some more. Robert, I'm sorry we got disconnected. Hello? Okay, one last time. Robert, will you allow me to get to my point before you keep hanging up on me? Robert? You're an angry little one, aren't you?
Hello?
Robert? I'm trying to speak to you, man to man, and you keep hanging up on me.
Who is it?
My name is Max Velocity, from right here in Alva.
Your name's who?
My name is Max Velocity. I'm a neighbour of yours from here in Alva.
That's Blossom.
What?
I've never heard of you.
Well, you may not know my name, but you'd know me by face. We know each other from about town.
No, I think you've got the wrong
At the
person.
bar. You know the bar, the Stinky Grub. We drink there sometimes. I see you there. You told me your name, gave me your number. Said sometime if you fancy a bum, give me a call. So, I know it's very early, but I'm trying to set it up for maybe later tonight, after your wife goes to bed. We get together, we enjoy each other's bottoms.
Oh, I think you've got the wrong person, son. Bye.
This is Robert Allen. We enjoy each other's bottoms. I'm so delightfully stupid. I'm sorry if you're not amused, but I am well hell beyond amused. I'm gonna play a song, come back, and do a couple more prank calls before I get the hell out of here because it's getting late. It's getting fucking late. It's past my bedtime. He didn't fancy a bum. And I'm disappointed.
This is one thing that I was going to wait a while before we talked about. Maybe we'll
He wouldn't tell you, so he made me tell you.
Tell me what?
Paul and I are in a relationship with each other.
Okay, what's your name?
My name? My name?
Yeah, your name.
Ron.
And, what am I supposed to do about this?
Well, he wanted you to know. He couldn't do it himself, so I had to do it for him.
Why are you phoning me at this time, though?
Well, he just phoned me and told me to call you.
It's impossible. He's at his mom's house.
Well, he just phoned me. Does his mom not have a phone?
Yes, it does.
Then it's not impossible. That's all he wanted me to tell you. And I'm already really embarrassed about it, because I haven't even told my parents yet. I'm gonna hang up on you now.
No, listen, why don't you phone me back in 2 minutes, okay?
No.
I want to talk to you about it. Don't worry, I'm not,
You'll discriminate me.
If anything, I want to help you guys.
What, do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Not up to me to decide, man.
Our love burns like a fire.
Pardon?
You heard me.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh. I said I have so much love for him. We care for each other so much.
Well, that's good, because in this day and age, it's hard to come by.
And only a love so pure can be a gay one.
Pardon?
What?
No, I said pardon?
Oh, I thought you called me a name. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm just so embarrassed. I can't do it.
Hello, Robert. Hello, Robert. Mr. Bouchard. I'm calling again. I'm sorry, I believe maybe we got disconnected. My phone is acting up on me. Is this Robert Bouchard? Okay, I can tell already he's not going to play, so I'm going to move on to the next person on my list, who is Gordon. Gordon! Gordon will talk to me because he's old and he's lonely, and he's desperate for people to talk to. That's why I like the old people. Sometimes I brighten their day and make them feel better, instead of just doing evil, nasty, awful, rotten prank calls.
Welcome to Sky Voicemail 1571.
Okay, let's hang up on that. I'm running out of numbers here, which is good because we only have a half hour left here. And one good call could make up a half an hour. William Marshall from Bolliton, Scotland. We're calling Scotland now. I'd like to go to Scotland. I'd like to wear a kilt. I'd like to show off my 2 legs and do just what I will. That's not gonna work. Okay, let's hang up on that. They don't want to pick up. I have a couple numbers left. We have Michael Adam in Glasgow. We're harassing Scotland now, in case you're just tuning in. Harassing Scotland.
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing there? Is Michael there?
Pardon?
Is Michael there?
No, he's out at the moment.
Oh, where could he be so early? Surely not at work. I know he doesn't work. He's a lazy bum himself. Hello? I'm going to admonish her. Oh, why are you hanging up on me, you evil old witch? All I'm trying to do is get in touch with Michael. You could choose to be helpful, but instead you choose to be the nasty, miserable old witch that you are. It's true what they say about Scottish women, cold and frigid, cold and frigid. No wonder no man will have you. What time is it in Scotland now? I know nothing of time zones. I know that the UK is like 5 hours ahead of me. Scotland, is it the same or is it different?
Hello?
Hello, is James there?
Sorry, who's calling?
My name is Max Velocity. I'm calling for Jimmy Allen.
No, I don't think you've got the right number. Sorry, thank you, bye.
No, he's in Hamilton. I've never heard Scottish people be so rude. They're usually so out of the way polite. I'm dumbfounded. Or found dumb. Let me move on to my next person. I'm running out of people. We're calling up James Borthwick. James Borthwick. Hello, is James there? Hello, Jimmy, is that you?
Who is it?
My name is Max. I'm calling for James.
Well, James is still in his bed. Do you realise what time it is?
It's very early. It's 6:30 in the morning.
Yes, I know.
So it's time to wake up.
No, it's not time to wake up. What do you want him for?
It's very personal business that he told me to speak to none other than him about.
Well, okay then.
He says call me Sunday morning and we'll discuss the details, but don't ever speak to anyone else because he wants to keep it secret and he wants to keep it safe.
Okay then. I'm not going to wake him up.
Like a ring of power, but keep it secret and keep it safe.
Right. Okay then. Well, you can wait and get him later on. Okay.
He's going to be angry.
Yes.
He's going to be angry.
As well.
He's waiting for my call, and he's going to be angry that you're giving me difficulty.
He's not waiting on your call at all.
Well, how would you know?
Because I'm telling you. Who are you anyway?
He's going to wrap you around the mouth.
I'm going to put the phone down, okay?
No, he's going to beat you silly for not putting him on the line whilst he's awaiting my call. He's gonna beat you around the mouth. I think I amuse myself more than I amuse anybody else, which is the entire point. The whole point of the program is that I enjoy myself. The fact that other people are listening, this is gravy. That doesn't really even matter. I do this shit off the air all the time. Did I tell you?
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing, John?
Who is that?
My name is Max. How are you doing, dear? This is Max from Bristol.
I have no idea who you are.
Well, is there something wrong with your mind?
Nothing matter in my mind at all if I'm going to phone off.
I met you several days ago and we exchanged phone numbers down at the supermarket. Everyone's angry tonight. Everyone's angry tonight. And why is 6:30 in the morning too early? I'm starting a new job next week and I'm going to have to wake up at 6 in the morning. These assholes that are still asleep at 6:30? Nunu, I'm trying your Paralympics premise, but I can't get there because nobody will stay on the phone with me. I'm trying.
Hello?
Hello, I would like to talk to John.
Who is it, please?
This is Max, calling for John Barstable.
Somebody called Max calling for you.
Max?
Yeah?
Hello?
Hello, John.
Yeah, who's that?
Lucky news. This is Max Velocity.
Yeah, what about it?
Calling from the Paralympics Committee.
No, for Christ's sake, it's 6:30.
Right, it's 6:30. Time to get up.
Bloody well isn't. Bye.
How late do you sleep, dear?
Max calling from the Paralympics.
I think we've reached that grey area where it's too early, it's too late and too early for the British people to be bothered. What time do British people get up for work? Like my new job, I'm gonna have to get up at like 6 in the morning for work to be there for 7 o'clock. Because, you know, it takes me an hour to, like, put on my face. That's something my mom used to say, like, put on my face. Put on my face. It does take a little while, because as a man, you gotta shave and shower, and that takes at least a half an hour.
Hello?
Hello, is Freddie there?
No, you've got the wrong number.
No, Frederick Cole. I'm calling again. She was too abrupt and rude. I think maybe it's too late for the British.
What?
Frederick!
Who are you?
Hello, I thought I just heard Frederick.
No, you've got the wrong number.
Frederick, who is this old twat that keeps giving me a hard time whilst trying to get a hold of you? I wouldn't be calling so early if it weren't important. You need to knock some sense into her. Slam her head into a wall a few times. Teach her who's boss. Freddie? Freddie? Slam her head into a wall a few times. Okay, I'm giving up. I can see that these numbers are going nowhere. It's either way too late or way too early for me to be doing UK wake-up calls. So, time for me to say goodnight so that I can go play video games. So, I say thank you all for listening. And, as always, tune in again next week. I'll be here 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And I hope you meet me here. In the meantime, stay just the way you are. Just the way we like you. Stay beautiful.
Nobody can tell you there's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell you, 'cause it hangs them up to see someone.
Thanks, yeah. I must admit it was a great show. A great comeback, considering I've been off the air for like 3 weeks. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys did too. I will understand. You gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along.
Why? She chose the piano over her insulin. You could have had both.
wasn't so bad.
Elaine, hang this fucking phone up. This is an idiot.
That's not. Hey, can you please not sit there and come over here?
But this is the best part.
Please don't. No. Please come away from there. Please just
But
come
I
away
can
from
see
there.
everything from up here.
No. Please don't sit like that. Don't. Please don't. Please. That's.
Why? What are you afraid of?
Can you just come? No, please. That's too close. No. Please don't do that. No. Please don't do that. Please come away from there. That's really upsetting me right now. I swear to God. No. Please don't. Please don't.
Do you know why you're scared?
Yeah, because falling and it's high, so you'll die. Please come to where you can't fall. And I don't want you to fall. I want you to come where it's impossible that falling can happen.
But the only way I'd fall is if I jumped. That's why you're afraid to come over here. Because a tiny part of you wants to jump. Because it would be so easy. But I don't want to jump. So I'm not afraid. I would never do that. I'm having too good of a time. Thanks, Liz.
You're the one who's always choking Trojan. You're the one who's always bruised and broken. Sleep may be the enemy, but so's another line. It's a remedy. You should take more time. You're the one who's always choking Trojan. You're the one who showers, always golden, spunk in bestiality. While it's an assisi lie, it's ahead of me. You should close your fly. I understand the fascination, the dream that comes alive at night. But if you don't change your situation, then you'll die, don't die, don't die. Please don't die. You're the one who's always choking Trojan. You're the one who's always bruised and broken, drunk on immorality, Valium and cherry wine.
Why is every number busy now? Let me try one last one. Why are they all busy? I haven't called these people yet, or before. Let me try one last one. Something fishy is going on.
Coke and ecstasy, you're gonna blow your mind. I understand the fascination. I've even been there once or twice or more. But if you don't change your situation, then you'll die, die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die.
If there's anybody out there that plays Diablo 3, you can find me online as KDK Pranks, KDKPRNKS, playing Diablo 3, or put that into your friend status and add me as a friend, and who knows, let's go kill shit together. You never know. William P., I was trying to give you an encore, but as you heard, every number I dialed was giving me a busy signal, which is kind of odd and weird. So, I have no numbers, so I can't go on. So, thank you for tuning in late, and I'm going to go play Diablo 3. If you're a Diablo 3 player, you can play along with me. Add me as a friend, KDK Pranks, KDKPRNKS, on Diablo 3, and let's go kill shit together. Right? Yeah. It'll be fun. Good night.